how is it watching back? Do you guys watch together? Because it's obviously like a little awkward knowing what was going on. He had Mackenzie.
And Mackenzie's there. Like, it's both, for both of you, right?
We've been watching together. I mean, even before we were dating, it was kind of our thing, right? Like me, Carl, Danielle would come over and we would sit and watch. This season, we've been watching all of them together until all of a sudden I made the mistake of watching it last week with him, and I was like, oh no, and I'm like, this is just so awkward, and it's hard. Like, I think it's harder for me,
was it the guy
like, because
what was his name?
Luciano.
Yes.
You know who he reminds me of Sebastian Yantras. He sings like Encanto.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay.
He's like that Spanish singer.
I know who you're talking about.
I saw a picture of it. He sang at the Oscars.
He sang at the Oscars. Yeah. Yes.
Luciano looks exactly like that guy.
Yeah. But like logistic wise, when you're on this show, right? And did you meet that guy? Or had you known him, Luciano?
Okay, so Luciano, I met him maybe 3 or 4 weeks before my party in the city.
Okay.
I was walking around with one of my girlfriends. I can't remember. It was like a Friday. I don't know what. And this hot guy walks past us. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, you never really see a hot guy walk past you, even though like they exist.
One that stops you in your tracks. And you're like,
no, but then a second hot guy walked past. And I was like, this is just getting wild. So I'm looking at my girlfriend like, okay, now there's 2 of them and they're not together. So I stopped and I waited and I turned around and I was just going to see if the second one turned around, and that was Luciano. And so as soon as he turned around, I was like, that's it. I'm going to go talk to him. So I started talking to him, and he was in town from Argentina for only like a couple of months. He was staying with his buddy who lives a block away from me. And we were like, okay, cool. Let's like hang out. Come to hang out with us on the roof and have some rosé. And so he met up with us. He met up with me and like whatever friends I was with throughout the week over the next like few weeks or like 3 weeks. And then eventually I was like, you should come to my birthday.
Yeah.
So I had my eye on Luciano before getting to the Hamptons.
Right. It wasn't like how we watched where it almost seemed like you went out, met a man and brought him home.
Yeah, no, I didn't like meet him at Southampton Social Club and bring him home. No, I had spent like a good 5 like gatherings with him before that.
I admire people who could just go up to somebody, a random stranger on the street, and then hang out with them, because I'm terrified. Like, that would terrify me. Just not knowing they could kill you. You know what I mean? Like, that's where my brain goes, where it's like, they could be.
You always think worst case scenario.
I do. It's just not good.
Well, I mean, it is good, but it's not good at the same time. It's good because you know that you're going to stay safe.
Yeah.
But you should be a little bit more open. Put yourself out there a little bit.
I mean,
you never know what could happen.
Yeah, exactly. But Luciano, he was so nice. He was such a sweetheart. He was just go with the flow and like always a good time. And it was just very interesting. I've always sort of had this affinity for different cultures of men, and it's fun getting to know like a South American, because it's kind of like the Argentinian Andrea.
Right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Andrea. Oh, Andrea broke my heart this past episode.
I know.
So sweet.
It's like crazy because I didn't fully realize that he was crying or that he was upset, because I was in the middle of all this other drama at the other end of the table. So yeah, I know, it was like heartbreaking to see that. He seemed like he really missed home, and
I know. I understood Ciara wanting to talk to you or whatever, say it in front of the group, but I almost like I felt bad for him because I was like, oh, not at the love dinner.
Yeah, he wanted to have such a nice conversation
about he's missing his family. Like, maybe save this
you
for
could tell,
another time.
right, and you could tell he wanted to have, because I'm sure for him, if he was feeling emotional about whatever he was feeling emotional about, then he himself probably wanted to have like a really nice dinner to make himself feel like a little bit better, and like enough with the drama because you guys are surrounded by
he literally framed the dinner to be let's all talk about
like
love.
He was like, let's like have a nice dinner, and then it just like exploded, which was crazy to watch. And now I can't wait until the next episode.
That the love dinner like ended in blows.
I mean, how are we going to expect a love dinner to actually turn out to be a love dinner? But
I mean, listen, when you have like a dinner with all of us there, plus, I think Craig, it's bound to just end in some sort of chaos. But I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I'm watching it just like you guys are as viewers, and I didn't realize Paige had hyped her up to go, like tear me apart or something. Like, I think I even asked Ciara, do you want to talk privately? Do you want to talk outside so that we didn't ruin Andrea's dinner? But she did not have plans for that. So yeah, it was definitely one of the more dramatic and scary, quite honest, moments that we've had in Summer House.
It got Real Housewives of New Jersey-esque in there. That's
the difference about our show, though, is like we live together. So we typically, or at least I do, try to keep it, not
you still have to
violent
go to sleep
or
in the room next to the person.
Exactly. So it's a little bit hard. I have a lot of opinions and feelings that I'm sure we'll address on the reunion about it. But
so where do you stand? First, I want to start with Austen, because I think that Austen was like the main problem here. Like, I just think that
I agree with Danielle a lot. Like last week, and even after the party, when Danielle was like, why are two great women getting mad at each other when we should all just be mad at Austen?
Because I was watching Austen and I was like, I am not being drawn in by this guy. And I'm sure Austen's great, and we've talked to Austen before and whatever, but it was like, all right, clearly he's not really saying much to Ciara at all. So I don't know why she's hung up on it. And then like, you're just like having fun and you could see where the confusion gets in. So I feel like he was probably just the main problem, because he was bouncing back and forth between the two of you. Where do you stand with Austen now, also considering you're with Carl? And where does Carl stand with Austen?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys know about his Watch What Happens live appearance in October. And since then, I sort of recategorized him in my mind. And that's okay. Sometimes you learn who somebody is by their actions. And I did. So he's still sort of recategorized in my life. I'm not sure if he'll ever get a title of best friend. Again, maybe hopefully down the line we can, figure it out to be at least acquaintances. But I have different priorities. And, that is to just surround myself with good, positive people, especially friends, male or female. And if you don't really fit into that, then there's really no need to communicate. So it's kind of where I stand. It's where I've really always stood.